Hi ladies, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. So today we are going to talk about wowing anyone, anywhere, anytime. So like I had mentioned before, this is going to be something that all these tips are great if you start putting them into play. So my encouragement just starting off this video is that I want you girls to be thinking about being open-minded and stepping out of your comfort zone, because if you watch this and you go, oh yeah, those are all really great ideas, and then you don't actually put any of them into play, then it's going to end up not working for you, and this video is going to basically be kind of a waste of time. So I want to encourage you girls to kind of open your mindsets. This is probably going to get a little uncomfortable, and I'll let you know too, like, I still get uncomfortable and I still get nervous. So don't feel like you have to not be nervous to go out and wow sometimes, because sometimes I'll see someone that I know will love this with great lip color, and it's still intimidating for me. So don't feel like that I'm sitting over here some non-nervous professional, because I still get nervous, and that's totally okay. You just have to start getting out there and doing it, and it will start to feel more comfortable. You'll start to feel more confident, so it's all going to be fabulous. So hi ladies that are jumping on, this is fun. All right, so we are going to dive in. First step that I feel is super important before you can go out and wow anyone, anywhere, anytime, is actually going to be practicing it, and practicing what you're going to say with your husband, your boyfriend, your mom, your dog, your kids. Your mirror. It doesn't even really matter who you're talking to, but be practicing what you're going to say. Like I said in the description earlier for this training, I'm going to share with you guys what I say when people ask about my stripes. That was something that over time, and it was really truly kind of just, I changed it over time because what I was saying didn't really seem to be working. So I was like, okay, it's got to mix it up a little bit. That's not working. I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Like I said earlier, wowing is not a science. It really is an art. And because each of us are our very own person, what we say should be from you and should be genuine and should be how you would speak. So that's one of the reasons it's really hard for me. I feel like sometimes people want to hear me say, blah, 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 blah. Here's exactly what you need to say to go out to wow, to make the sale, to get the distributor, to do all those things. And it's just not that way. What I say might really work well for me. It might not work for you because you're a different person and that's not how you talk normally. So it feels disgenuine and uncomfortable. Same thing is, I literally can go out and wow and say the same thing to 25, 35, 85 different people. And on one day I say the exact same thing, and maybe a few people here and there, react to it. They're like, oh yeah, that's great. On a completely different month, on a completely different day, I could go out and say the same thing to those exact people, and likely different people would react positively to that. So that's part of it too. I want you to know that when you go out and wow, those no's that you might get, or, funny faces are like, not right now. It might just be the day. It might just be them. It's not something like, oh, what I'm saying isn't working. Take that into consideration, but you also need to just be reminding yourself that it's not the right day for everybody, but you never know. You never know when you talk to somebody that it might be the right day, and that you might have someone say, oh my gosh, that's amazing. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So I want to encourage you in that as well. Like, don't be thinking that it's always just you. Sometimes it's the other person and it's just not a good time for them, or they're rushed or anything like that. But getting back to practicing, I really want to encourage you girls to practice what you're going to say, and to practice how you're going to answer common questions or comments that you might get. Because if you've been wearing your stripes, you've probably gotten common like, oh, have you been to Sephora? Have you been playing with makeup? Is that a new tattoo? Usually people are kind of like joking or sarcastic with that. You need to be prepared with what you're going to say so that it rolls off smoothly, and it's not just, oh yeah, gosh, no, it's lip sense. Have you heard of it? And because I have done that, and I will say that I have done that a lot, and it took me a long time before I realized, like, okay, people are asking me the same things. I need to know what to tell them. I need to know what to say. So what I always say, instead of just being like, oh, it's lip sense, have you heard of it? I generally go the route of being like the excited customer, because when I think back before I started selling this, I was telling everybody about this anyways because I thought it was super great and amazing and fantastic, and I was amazed. I was never a lipstick person. The fact that it stayed on my lips was super impressive. So that's the route I want to take. So when somebody says to me like, oh, have you been playing in makeup, or did you just come from Sephora, or did you figure out what color you're going to wear today? I get that a lot. Like, oh, were you able to figure out what color you're going to wear for the day? I'm always like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, actually, this is a lip color that I have on. This, like, have you seen this stuff? This is lip sense. It doesn't come off. Oh my gosh, I am super obsessed with it. After that, that's always the thing that I say to start out with, is I'm always showing them, oh my gosh, actually, this is the lip color I'm wearing. I can't get over it. It's so crazy. I don't tell them, is it lip sense? Have you heard of it? Oh my gosh, I just am the impressed, wowed customer. After that, I generally gauge and kind of take an assessment of, quick, is it a girl that's already wearing makeup? So say it's somebody that's already wearing makeup. Everything I say after that initial, oh my gosh, this is the lip color I'm wearing, I'm like super amazed with it. It's awesome. It doesn't come off. If the girl's wearing makeup, I'm probably going to go the route of like, you look gorgeous in your lip color. Actually, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's lip sense. And oh my gosh, you would die. You would freak out if you could have a lip color like, and then we can go that route. If it's someone that, say, I'm at the grocery store and maybe there's a lady with no makeup and kids behind me, and I can kind of like, okay, she's, a mom, she's busy probably, and she's not wearing lip color. I'm probably going to say something like, holy cow, and I actually never even wore makeup before this because honestly, I've got 2 small kids at home too, and I never had time to wear it, but since this stuff doesn't come off, I'm freaking out over it, and I can't stop telling people about it. I'm going to change, and that's again why this is an art and not a science, because you can't say the exact same thing to everybody that you run into, because it's just not going to be, you kind of have to connect with them. You want to have that conversation. You want to get on their level. And that's where it's nice to, like I said, just kind of do that quick assessment. I have guys ask me a lot of times, obviously the spiel is going to be completely different if a man is asking me about this. If a man is asking me about like, oh, are you playing in the makeup store? I'm always like, oh, same start. I do the same start. Like, oh my gosh, actually, no, this is the lip color I'm wearing. I'm freaking out about it. I'm obsessed with it because it doesn't come off. Like, I don't know if you're married or if you have a daughter, but they need to know about this stuff. It's amazing. And you're going to love it because it's kiss proof. It doesn't come off. So again, my initial out of the gates is the same, and then I'm going to adjust for everybody that I run into. That being said, your initial one-liner, what you're going to say, I want you girls to practice that because I feel comfortable. I mean, it kind of just rolls off like, oh my gosh, no, and I'm rubbing my lips and my hands and I'm super excited. But that's my personality, and that's something I feel comfortable with. If you're a little more introverted, or maybe you don't quite get to the excitement level that I get to, because you girls all know I get pretty excited. If that's not your style, maybe you're going to just say something that's just a little more laid back and be like, oh gosh, actually, yeah, I love this stuff. This is an amazing lip color that I just started wearing, and I can't get over it. It really doesn't come off on anything. And it's just more of a laid back, you're not going to my level of crazy. So however you do that, I do recommend though, talking and showing everything at the same time. I will tell you how I started to perfect what I say, telling my toddler, telling my son Rhett, and he obviously is too small to even ask me the question, but I just kind of look at him and I'd be like, oh, Rhett, do you love my lip sense? And then I'd go on my, oh my gosh, this is an amazing lip color. And I'd practice everything that I was saying. Randomly throughout the house as I'm cleaning, I'll just kind of, not like shouting it to the world, but I'm just speaking out loud what I would say. I know it sounds silly, right? It sounds silly, but I promise you that if you do it and you actually speak it out loud, you don't just speak it in your head, that you're going to be ready and be prepared, that when someone asks you about it, you're going to know what you're going to say. And that's really important. That's just part of the confidence level. It's going to be impossible to feel confident going out and wowing people if you just don't really know what you're going to say to them, because you're always going to leave going like, I bumbled through that. I didn't sound professional. So that's my first tip, practice. And then speaking of sounding professional, my second tip is, girls, I really, I feel like this is like hard truth time. I really want you to think about and consider, especially on days that you know you're going places, to put yourself together. To put yourself together, put on some makeup, put on some eyeshadow, look the professional part when you head out, even if it's just running errands. But I'm gonna tell you honestly, and this is dead truth, I don't look like this every day when I go out. That's just honest. I don't look like this every day when I go out. But I go to the grocery store, like that's a run that I go to, all the time. I go early in the morning. That's one that I don't necessarily always look put together for. But on days that I'm like, all right, I've got 3 stops to make at 3 different locations, and I'm going to stop at the coffee shop to grab a coffee, and I've got to go run and get groceries, and then I'm going to Costco, and I've got to go to Hobby Lobby or something like that. Those days, I'm going to take time to put myself together so that I can go out and I'm leaving the house with the intent to wow. And I tell you what, there is a difference between when I go to the grocery store and I'm just like, I just need to go get groceries, versus when I leave the house intentionally to wow. I wow people on those days because my mind is set and I've set the intention that I'm going to go do that. It kind of freaks me out and frightens me to think about how many missed opportunities I have, because I'm human too, you guys. I'm not on point every single minute of the day. But I do think, man, I know I miss opportunities on the days that I'm not going out, thinking about the fact that I want to impress people with this product. And I'm not saying you have to be dressed up, dolled to the nines with your, collar necklace or anything on, but put on some makeup, put on some mascara, put on some lip sense, put yourself together a little bit, and that's really going to make a huge difference in how you impact people. I kind of think of it as, going to an interview, or for instance, if I were to hire, say I wanted someone to come in and organize my home, and I went over to their home and their home was like scattered with laundry and kind of messy, and there was stuff out all over the place, because everybody, even organizers, have real life, and they, probably have those moments where their house isn't perfect. But if she was coming over to say like, I'd like to talk with you about the things that I'm going to be able to do for your home, and I went over there and she didn't like purposefully clean for me and purposefully organize for me, I would be like, I'm not really going to take your opinion, because I don't really know that you are qualified to give me your advice. Think of that same thing with us, and we're selling skincare and we're selling makeup. Not that we all don't have real life, and not that you can't make the sale when you're not completely put together, but when you are put together, just people looking at you are going to take you that much more seriously, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, like her skin looks amazing. I'm going to take her advice. Wow, she seems like she really knows what she's talking about, because look at her. So I just want you guys to be thinking about that as well. If you would like to see, honestly, on my Instagram, you can go to @BrandyDoesBeauty on Instagram and see, I don't look like this most days, you guys. I put myself together on days that I'm doing training videos, because let's be honest, if you go to my Instagram and you look at what I looked like this morning, when you look at my story, you'll go, I wouldn't take her very seriously if I was coming to you with my messy mom bun and like no makeup on, and I was in my scrubs and I didn't have a bra on. Like, no, you're not going to take me very seriously. It's a little easier to be like, oh yeah, Brandi really does know what she's doing, when I look a little more put together. So I just want you girls to be thinking about that as well. When you're going out to wow, if you want to wow anyone, anywhere, anytime, if you are a little put together, you're not only going to appear more credible to others, you're going to just feel better. You're going to feel like, I can wow today because I kind of got it going on. So think about that. Just think about even just the little things. You're going to feel way more on point. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is kind of putting a demo kit, a wow kit. Have some things ready to wow people with. So you've got your stripes, so you're going to wow them with your stripes right then and there. But the more that you've got with you, And I will tell you girls, I've been out and about and been places where, say I'm watching my husband and my kids and we're at a rodeo and I left my purse in the pickup because I'm chasing kids that day. And someone comes by and they're asking, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's this lip color I'm wearing and I'm so obsessed with it. Oh my gosh, it doesn't come off and I wasn't even a lipstick wearer. It's amazing. Like, look, I can run around and chase the kids and I'm wowing people, and maybe I don't have my bag with me. But I tell you what, when I do have my bag with me, it's that much more of an arsenal that I can say, oh my gosh, actually, hang on, let me go get my kids' crowd 1 second. And I've got all this stuff right here. I've got to show it for you. And I've got this color. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, you have to try it. I'm going to be right back. When I have that arsenal and that kit and I'm ready to wow, it makes that much more of an impact. So I'm going to show you, you guys have seen some of this stuff before, but we're going to talk about it again because we're talking wowing this week, and I know that some of you girls are new. I have a Lucy bag. You can search for display totes and you can find amazing display totes that are, made by gals on Etsy or other brands. Mine is a Lucy. It's just a crossbody bag. It's deceptively it's not super huge and it's pretty narrow, but it's deceptive how much stuff you can get in this thing. So on the front, I just have a little, and I just made this on Canva for myself because, we're like a Western lifestyle family. So I made it with a little cowgirl. And it just says, girl, you got to get yourself some lip scents and smudge proof, budge proof. And then it says that I have my square, but make it fun, make it for you. I always think about when I'm flying. I've been thinking I want to switch this to, even though my life looks crazy, please do ask me about my lipstick, because it's like I usually have like one kid strapped to my chest and I'm toting another in a cart or something like that. So I always think when I'm at the grocery store, if you have kids, maybe that's more applicable to you. If you're like, I never get to go anywhere without my kids, maybe say something just, cutesy like, hey, I know I look busy, but please ask me about this amazing lip color. Something fun. And then I've got stock to sell. I've got my colors. And then in the back zipper pocket, I've got beauty cards with a contact card. I've got my business cards. I've also got perfume samples back there as well. So that's kind of where I keep my arsenal of more information, is on the back side of the bag. I usually have this side of the bag displayed out for people to look at and see. Then inside of my bag, I am always ready to swipe someone's hand. That's kind of one of my goals when I go out and wow. I of course want to get their contact information, but I also, when I can, want to be able to swipe a little swatch of color on their hand, on their wrist, because I want them to see that, oh my gosh, I can wash my hands, I went to the shower. I want them messaging me. I want them to take my contact information, and I want them to call being like, okay, now how do I get it off? Because that's the wow. That's like, oh my gosh, the impressiveness. So that's super awesome. I'm going to go back and look at some of your girl. Yes, Dixie Pistols bag, Marie, I'm totally going to talk about that too, because I absolutely love it. It's amazing. So that is actually what I do with my wow tote here. So inside my Lucy bag, inside my display tote, I've got the little Dixie Pistols bag that Marie is talking about, which they just put the link down below in the comments, which is amazing. And it's awesome. But I will tell you, honestly, you guys, I've been doing this a year, and I recently upgraded to the 1250 bag. This is what I used for many, many months. You can put all the things I'm going to show you in here also fit in here. And this is like a penny, 2 pennies, it's super cheap. So don't feel like I have to have all the things. If you're in a place where you're just starting up your business, I want you to invest your $12.50 in one more color. I don't want you to buy this. I want you to put it in here, use your $12.50 for one more color. Don't buy the Dixie Pistol bag, because you can upgrade to this. After a year, you can upgrade to this, but the Ziploc bag will totally do the same thing. So don't feel like you have to be advanced right now. So inside this little wow bag, this is my little wow bag, I've got everything to do a demo in here. And I'm actually going to show you, I have separate bags for things. So this is all my demo bag. I've got all my stock outside of here. I've got more of my gloss, and my oops removers in here. I've also got cash in here. And then I've got all my like IT stuff in here. So I've got my square, I've got my phone charger, I've got everything. So I am set up to wow anyone, anywhere, anytime, all the things. So what's in my wow bag is some testers. You guys, I know some girls carry like as many testers as they can for the long haul. this thing can get heavy, and I'm a wuss. I'm sorry. I'm not going to carry them all. But I do, let's see, I've got 6 colors in here right now. I do make sure I always stripe my hands with things that I have available to sell and available to test, because I tell you what, it doesn't matter. It's the law of attraction. Like if you swatch a color that you do not have, there will be a person that wants that color, and you will feel like, that was so idiot. I don't know why I put that on my hand. So make sure whatever. So I'm like swapping this out all the time. If I realize, you guys, right now, I've got a lot of pomegranate to move. Every day, you better bet your booty that pomegranate is on my hand and it's in my tester bag. So I want to make sure, same thing as what's on my lips. I am wearing 2 layers of caramel latte with a layer of Bravo and sand gloss. All of those things I've got available. I want to make sure that if people are like, what are you wearing? I really like that. I can hook them up. And I will tell you another little tip. Personally, I try to layer as much as possible, because I want someone to say, oh, what is that? I love that lip color. It's amazing. It's perfect. And I want to be like, oh, actually, you can create that custom color by layering these 2. Bump, 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 bump. Here's your 2 colors. Upsale. That's awesome. So have what's on your hand in the bag. You can carry more if you want. Like I said, 6 colors works for me. I also then have my little my applicators, so I can be ready to have disposable applicators with them. I've got my Glossy Gloss sample strips. So, ooh, light is crazy. Glossy Gloss sample strips, so people are ready to use the gloss. I also, you guys, I hand those out. Like, what I like to do, if I am demoing on somebody, if somebody takes the time with me out in public to demo the product, I will use one for them to try right then and there, and I will send them with the second one. So I'm giving them 2, like, here, use this to put it on right now. If there's some left over, save it. I'm going to send you with 1 more so you can keep applying that gloss for all throughout the day, so you can see how moisturizing it is. I have no problem, and I would recommend. Same thing if a girl's like, I'm not really into, color, be like, here, try our gloss. It's amazing. You're going to freak out. It's worth it. I also carry little squares of wax paper. That's just so, personally for me, the application that I like to do is I like to dump the color out when I can, rather than use 3 separate wands. So some girls use 3 wands and they dip it in. Here's your first, here's your second application, here's your third. I like to, when it's possible, dump mine out. Sometimes you just aren't in a place that you have the option to do that, but I like to have it available when I'm ready. So this is everything that I can do to demo. Sometimes I don't have them in here right now because I actually need to stock up, but if you stock up on like witch hazel wipes, or just cotton pads, something for them to clean their lips. Walgreens has witch hazel wipes in like a little baby wipe type package that work really, really great. So that's for my demoing. So and even if I'm not putting it on their lips, I want to try to be like, oh my gosh, okay, I know you're super busy and you just have a moment, but I'm going to just get your wrist out. Okay, just hang on. Okay, flip it over. I don't know if you can show your hand or not. And I'm swiping it on their wrist. I'm swiping it on their hand. And I'm like, you just have to see how long that wears. Here's a beauty book. Let me grab your contact information. Here you go. So that is demo kit right there. Like I said, I carry another bag that I do carry cash in, because I have been places where people want to give me cash, and if you don't have the ability to give them change, that's like really, really a bummer, because you're like, oh, that was a sale and I can't accommodate that. And I know a lot of us out there don't carry cash. So I would encourage you, I've got change in there. I've got a lot of small bills. I'm ready to take anybody's cash if that's how they want to pay me. I also in this bag carry my oops removers. I carry my gloss. I carry a couple gloss selections. And as you can see, I do carry a few Onyx and Candlelight Shadow Scents as well. These are 2 great sellers for me. I sell Onyx all the time as eyeliner and Candlelight as concealer and like lid primer. So those are great. I want to have those on hand, because if I'm talking to people and they're like, oh, I love your makeup, or if I'm looking at them and I'm like, I gotta tell you about one more thing. We've got this Candlelight, or let me tell you about, waterproof eyeliner. I have no problem bringing that up. And then this, I just have in here, there's like a tons of miscellaneous things, like I also have deodorant in there because sometimes a girl just needs to freshen up. But I also have all my techie things. So I have a charger so I can charge my phone. I have my square in there so I can take cards at any time. You want to have all the things you need. I've got a pen in there so I can take notes or write things down all the time. I also want to show you girls the back of my bag. So I would encourage you girls, if you just are handing out business cards, that's fine. That's a step in the right direction. But I do really want to encourage you girls to be getting people's contact information. On the front of all my beauty books, I just have, it's a little contact card that I had made up for a vendor show that I was doing, and I have extras, so I'm trying to use those up. A sticky note will work perfectly, flawlessly, fabulously. Stick a sticky note on there. But for me, it's just a contact card. I want you to go ahead. Don't just have sticky notes in your bag. Have them on the things that you're handing out. Heck, even if you want to stick one here, let me get my business card out. Even if you just want to stick one on your business card so that you know, okay, I'm not going to give this out until I get their contact information. Anything that helps you remember it, because I'm going to tell you what, there's still times I kind of get flustered and I'm talking to someone, and a lot of times it seems like you're talking to someone in the checkout aisle or something like that, and you're like, I'm trying to move and pack my groceries, and maybe I've got my kids, and it's easy to kind of get flustered and forget steps. Again, that comes with practice. But if you have everything basically step by step spelled out for you, you're less likely to forget it. So that's why I want you to stick your sticky notes on your book cards, your sticky notes on your books. Have everything all ready. Another great way is to do it is when you have your, you can see maybe, why is this not showing? I've got my contact information, there it is, contact information stuck on here. You can even stick it back on here, so when you're saying, oh, and I've got all my contact information back here, let me get yours so I can make sure to get you added to our group, and I want to just message you about some products I think you're going to love. So it can be just kind of a natural, like not just, oh, before I give this to you, can I get your contact information? Just say, okay, all my contact information is right here. Now, what was yours? Because, okay, and your name was Brittany, last name. Do you like phone or email? And you're just naturally taking that. And it's not something that you're saying, could I get your contact information? Because then you've opened up the door for them to tell you no. If you just make it something natural of, here's all my contact information right here. I would love for you, check out my Facebook page, because that's where I'm doing tutorials, giveaways, like you want to get involved on some of the freebies that I'm giving out. Now, what was your, okay, Brittany, and what's best, email or phone number? Okay, you haven't asked them, you're asking them, and they could still tell you no, but you're not giving them that like upfront, like, no, I'm not, you're a stranger, I'm not giving it to you. Just make it really natural and conversational. Again, practicing that, you can even, that's another great thing that you can practice with your mom, your sister, your husband, your brother, anything like that is a really, really great way to not feel so flustered and have it feel a heck of a lot more natural, which is ultimately what we want. Really, at the end of the day, if you think about wowing as this is a conversation, I'm excited and I'm telling you about something I love, it's going to make it a lot less scary. If you go into things thinking, I have to make the sale, I have to sell them on this, they have to want it, they have to buy from me, they have to join my group. Don't make it so much about you, make it more about them, and I just want you to know about this. I want you to hear about this amazing stuff. One, it's going to take a lot of pressure off you. It's just going to be way more fun because you're like, oh girl, I just have to tell you about this because it's crazy and you need to know. Rather than, are you going to buy from me? Please, oh my gosh, you have to like this. I hope I'm telling you all the right stuff and you're excited like I am. Just take that pressure off yourself and just make it a fun conversation about products that you love. I also recommend, so when you're handing these out, you're getting their contact information. If you don't have perfume samples, you know, when skincare samples come back, get those skincare samples. Anything that you can do when you can say, oh, and thank you so much. I'm so glad you took the time. I'm also just going to include a freebie of our perfume. I'm going to include a freebie of our skincare. I'm going to include a strip of glossy gloss. Whatever it is, just something fun, because I tell you what, again, when you make it a little more personalized, a little more special, it's like, oh, cool, freebies, like, I'm one of those people. I don't really care what it is. You give me a free koozie, you give me a free notepad. I just love free stuff. It feels good for me to get free stuff. So I think a lot of people are that way. And if you can include those things, it's really fun. Some other things to do with the beauty book, if you have time, if you're in a place where you're really having a good conversation, I recommend opening up the book to the lip colors, and if they've tried a lip color or you know, they've sampled one, or they're saying that, oh, I like that color on your hand, I don't have time to try it now, but I like it. Open up to the lip color one. You can even have them preset with the perfume samples in there, so you're already ready, set up to give them the freebies. Remember, the more you can have taken care of beforehand, the less you have to worry about remembering. Have that perfume sample set in there already, so then you open it up and you're like, oh my gosh, it's totally fine that you don't have time to demo it right now. I'm just going to circle for you. Okay, you loved First Love. Let me circle that for you. And I'm just going to tell you, you know, and again, you're going to get better with this at the time if you're new, you suggesting colors, but I recommend, now that I've been doing this for a while, okay, she tells me she loves First Love, I'm going to look at her and say, I'm going to just circle a few other colors that I think would look beautiful on you, and I'm going to go ahead and circle those. If you're new, that can feel a little intimidating sometimes, but I want to encourage you more and more to start suggesting more colors, start playing with them more with yourself, with your family, with your friends, because the more that you can provide that sense of value, that added value of not only did we talk about First Love, but here's some other colors, here's some things, it really helps them. And then they're going to go home and their perfume sample that they're going to want to try, they're going to want to smell it, because let's be honest, women, when you buy a magazine and there's a perfume sample, everybody opens it up and everybody smells it. They're going to want to smell it. So it's right in there. They're going to flip that open because they're going to want to smell these perfumes, and they're going to have your handwritten notes all in there. You can even say on that page, like, oh my gosh, so fun meeting you. Looking forward to finding your perfect lip color. You know, whatever it is that's you, making it personalized. Like I said, I know you're not always going to have time to wow this in depth. Sometimes it's just going to be literally saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You know, here's my business card. Can I get your contact information? I've got to run, but I want to share more with you later. Sometimes that's all you're going to have time for, or all that person is going to allow. You're going to know when you're talking to someone if they're like, I gotta go, or maybe just, I'm not interested. And that's fine. Again, it doesn't matter. It's about them. It's not about us. We just want to give them that added value of, I think you might really love this. Here's some information. That might not be their day. It might not be their time, but we know that we've given it to them and they have it. And if it is their time later, or they have time to sit down and think about it, who knows? They might contact you back. They might not, but again, it doesn't matter, because it's not about us. It's not about us. It's not about the sale. It's about just sharing that information with them. So, practicing was step number one that we want to talk about. You know, taking care to make yourself, you know, look the part, look professional, put yourself together, and then being prepared with everything that you have, so you know that when you're ready, you kind of do have this demo experience ready for them. You know, the more that you have in your pocket that you can showcase, the better that experience is going to go if people are really interested in it right then and right there. The last thing about wowing anyone, anywhere, anytime is then just going out and doing it. So like I said at the beginning, this whole video, this whole thing, this is great. I hope you're getting a lot of great information, you know, thinking about things that maybe you haven't tried before, or saying things in ways that you maybe haven't done or you want to start doing. I hope your gears are turning. But again, if your gears are turning but you don't go out and start doing it, you're not going to get anywhere, you know? So I want to really, really encourage you, especially this week, because we're going to be talking about a lot of wowing throughout the rest of this week. I want you to think about, if you're going somewhere today, if you're going to pick up your kids, if you're leaving work and you're stopping at the grocery store, if you're thirsty and you want a Dr. Pepper from a gas station, whatever little things that you have, I want to encourage you to, with whatever colors are in your purse, if you've got a beauty bag, if you don't, if you've got books, if you don't, I want you to just, if you have nothing else but stripes in a business card or stripes in a sticky note, I want to encourage you to get out and talk with someone about this. And you don't always have to wait until your stripes do the talking for you. A lot of times people will come up to you and comment on them, but sometimes people aren't coming to you about that and they're not saying anything. But there's really great opportunity when you see someone that especially has beautiful makeup. I always find it's easiest when they have maybe a lip color on or makeup on. That is a great opportunity to go up to them and say, if you watched, I'm not Kelly Moat. I can't remember her name now. I'm totally blanking. But there's a video where she goes up to girls and she says, oh my gosh, I love your lip color. Is that berry lip sense? The gal's either going to say yes or no, and then she's going to know where to go with that conversation. If she says, no, it's not, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is it? It's amazing. It looks exactly like berry, this lip product. Oh my gosh, I have it. It's amazing. You have to try it. So what brand is that? Okay, have you heard of Lip Sense? It doesn't come off. You can go that route. And then they say, oh my gosh, yes, it is berry lip sense. Then you girls can just have like a girl moment, a powwow or hurrah of like, oh, isn't it amazing? I love it so much. But it's a great introduction to talking with someone and opening up that door to not only compliment their lip color, start that conversation, but then also introduce lip sense in a really natural way. So again, that's just going up to someone that maybe is wearing a lip color and then from a distance kind of guessing what the closest lip sense color match is and then going up and saying, oh my gosh, is that berry lip sense? Is that beige champagne lip sense? And then either yes it is or no it isn't can help you gauge which way to take that conversation. So I hope you all go out and wow some people today. Don't wait until next week. Don't wait until you're ready. I will just tell you what, you're never going to be ready. It's always going to feel a little like nervous and you might be a little unsure, but you're not going to start to feel more comfortable with it until you start doing it more often. So I want that to be your encouragement for the day, that it's okay. I still get nervous. I still don't do it flawlessly all the time either. Like I want you all to know in real honesty, there are times that I go out and I still walk away going like, how long have I been doing this? That sounded awful. Like nobody is going to buy lip sense from me because I sounded like a complete fool. My big thing is a lot of times I can get too excited, which also isn't always a good thing. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. There's those people I walk away from and I'm like, thank goodness, like, oh, she's probably not going to call me. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It just really, you have to get out there and do it because those times, I can tell you what, the times that I have talked with girls and they go, oh my gosh, I have been looking for something like this. I'm going to freak out. I have to tell my sister, holy cow. Those times make it worth every single no, make it worth every single awkward conversation, because those have opened up my avenues into some amazing customers, amazing partners, parties and things like that. And even some of those girls then ending up coming on the team. So it's worth it. It's really, really worth it. And I just want to encourage you to get after it and do it. Keep asking questions. I'm going to get off this video and then I'm going to hop back on and answer questions. So keep asking them. Tune in, girls that are watching later. You always know that you can ask questions later. And looking forward to the rest of this week. So we'll see girls later. Bye.